Yo, what's good? It's Kano. Listen, I'm a humble person, but if you don't give yourself credit sometimes, shit, who will? I'm ahead of the curve on a lot of this shit. I said months ago, this actually over a year ago, this was at the peak at that point. Well, shit, it's still at the peak. Chicago. At that time, it was a lot of high profile, Vaughn, duck killing. There was a lot of headlining news coming out of Chicago as far as gang violence. I said, y'all gonna fuck around and they gonna bring the military in there. I said this. Washington, D.C. So Trump has ordered the National Guard. I said he was gonna militarize the police, man, and sick them on these inner cities. So he's saying due to the gang violence, he didn't say specifically street violence, violence in general, crime that's going on in the capital, you know, because DC is turned, been turned, you know. But woo woo. So he's deploying the National Guard. I said this shit was gonna happen, man. And I said they were specifically gonna target black communities. Chicago next, man. Chicago definitely on the list. And y'all know which cities, and it's cities that don't get mentioned, Small cities you may not be hip to, in Nowheresville, Ohio, woo woo. But I knew Memphis, the Rack, Baltimore, Philly, Birmingham. So I knew this was coming. It's two sides of this sword, man. Because I'm gonna be honest with you. It's black folks in this country that's like, you know what? Bring them. They tired. Like I said, they hostages, more or less. And at their wits' end, they don't know what to do. The killing. You know what I'm saying? There's young black men killing each other. In almost every, you could say, Democratic run city. But this ain't really political. Although you have, people doing the dog whistling and trying to make this political, but I knew this shit was coming, man. So, and due to social media, y'all niggas really don't do yourself no favors. Because it ain't like this is new. These cities been turned. But now with social media, you got members that want to jump online, for clout, for recognition. I don't know what but I knew at some point y'all was going to get the wrong type of attention. Because just because they don't say shit and you don't see it in the headlines and they ain't, they know. They know what's going on, obviously. And they discuss it. Trump and his little minions. Like I said, there's two sides to this sword. Because on one side, like I said, there's black folks that's going to be championing this. But on the other side, we know this is, racially motivated. So, I'm going to tell you what the end game is. At least from my perspective. Them work camps I'll be talking about. So due to the situation going on with the agricultural industry, these farms, they desperately need, you know what I'm saying? manual labor on these farms. They about to start rounding niggas up. I'm telling you, man. And putting your niggas that's sitting in a joint now. At some point, they're going to start shipping these low risk. I ain't talking about federal, you know what I'm saying? Low risk, non-violent offenders, they're going to start shuttling them. They're going to create a chain gang for these farms. They're going to force labor. And what choice you going to really have? That's where this is going. That shit sound crazy, huh? I'm telling you, man. This is what they do. They sit back and they form. Now, on the other hand, though, like I said, I am conflicted. I'm going to be honest with you. I can't stand here and say I'm not conflicted. At some point, you evolve, like I said, but coming from those environments, I relate. I relate. The inherent pitfalls. Being born into a situation where off the rip, all odds stacked against you. You're looking around community, no opportunities. Of course you're going to gravitate towards crime. I'm not excusing it, but I understand. But the killing that's going on, that's one thing, man. Hustling, and there's going to be conflict in the streets, true enough. But this is some different type of shit going on, man. And I know the 80s and 90s was terrible. We're not going to sit here. They was getting money in the streets in the 60s and 70s too, man. Killing wasn't like this. And there was a lot more money out there. I'm not that old, but I'm hip. I know the killing, this shit that, it turned into a blood sport. This ain't just based on, altercations behind, illegal activity as far as the drug trade. This is blood sport that's going on. Because you got a lot of people in our community that take honor in killing another black man or black woman. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. It's like a badge of honor now to catch a hat. And it's demonic. So, while I say I'm conflicted because I know what's coming, man. And while, like I said, we got individuals that's out there just in the way, But we're going to have a lot of individuals that's just victim of their circumstances that happen to be in a certain community, that have a certain appearance, that's going to get criminalized. And they're going to get caught up, man. And y'all going to be on them farms. It's real shit. And like I said, man, on the other hand, this dude, any opportunity he get to low-key, display some type of racism, because it's directly targeted, obviously. And it's justifiable. So that gives it the facade of being just and righteous, And I guess in a certain sense, it would be, if we could rely on a system that can actually definitively, separate real criminals from, community citizens. And I don't have any faith that, our law enforcement agencies, especially sanctioned by this dude, let's stop playing games. He's obviously racist, So It is what it is, man. But I saw this shit coming, man. And y'all thought y'all really this was just gonna continue. And at some point, the powers that be, whatever you want to, I knew at some point they was gonna get the military in these cities. Because that's what they want to do anyway. They want to keep their foot on the neck of black folks in this country. And this is justification for what's to come. So it is what it is, man. If you a lot of people would say if you ain't in the streets, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Yeah. Tell that to that young man from Florida, who just got, beat, you know what I'm saying, and arrested for driving with no lights on in broad daylight. It is what it is, man. No ops left, Skano.